Oh man, looks like we broke a screen. Now we're getting leaves in our pool and mosquitoes are biting the crap out of us. But here's how to fix it. Here is what you're gonna need. You need a screen roller tool, some sort of picking tool, a cutting tool, the screen spline, and then good to have is screen clips, and then some bourbon helps the project go a little nicer. So first thing you do, you come in and you clean out the crevices of all the old spline and screen materials. When you're doing this, you're gonna notice some are harder to get out than others. Sometimes you start pulling out the spline and it comes out as a whole. Other sides are not gonna be as great. Don't get discouraged at any point just because one side is tougher than the other. That goes for rolling the spline as well. If you notice while you're doing a project somewhere around the panel has some spline coming out, you might as well just roll it real quick. And get a little brush tool and you might as well get out that little sediment inside the crevices. Since these screens are pretty old, there was a lot of sediment in there from the rotten spline and whatnot. You might not even have to brush it out, but it's just good to clear out your crevices if there's anything in there, just so that there's plenty of room for the new spline. After you get the crevices all cleared out, then you're gonna have to make your measurements. The crucial thing here is the top of the screen. You're gonna wanna have the straightest edge possible. Oh, sip a little bourbon. So you want the manufactured edge to go across the top. That means you want the width of the roll to align with this side here. The reason you do that is the manufactured edge is gonna be straighter than anything you cut with a straight razor. By the way, I'm cutting straight on this deck because it's getting replaced anyways. Most of the times you're going to want to put down some cardboard. So you start by screen clipping the top and you want to make this as straight as possible. That's why you see me kind of measuring and aligning the whole time. By the way, I don't like these metal clips. If I would have had the plastic ones that are more popular, I would have totally used those. These tend to cut the screen and they're not user friendly. They're pretty hard to use. Now you measure the spline, and if you're going to miss, go ahead and miss long. You can cut it shorter later. The important thing is the flat side of the spline needs to go in towards the beam, and then you're going to tuck one side in and roll in the other. And it's best to start about 2 or 3 inches from the edge and complete the short side of line there, as opposed to just starting on the very end. That's a little pro tip for you. And then you're going to roll it through the rest of the side of the panel. One hand leading the spline, the other hand rolling. You're gonna find some edges are a pain in the butt and some work really smoothly. You'll actually see here, the metal clip actually cut this screen a little bit, but it was above the spline, so I was lucky enough to not have to start from scratch. But then you're gonna cut the end of the spline, and I like to tuck it in with my little picker tool. If you make sure to tuck your spline in perfectly the first time around, you won't see it popping out as much. Later on, you'll see me going over the spline with the roller again. It doesn't hurt to roll over it a couple times throughout the process. But again, started a couple inches from the edge and then rolled it up and then began going down the side. Now, you want to start with the top and then do the 2 sides, and then you finish with the bottom. I'm not exactly sure the scientific reason that helps keep things straighter, but that's just kind of how it does. So did the sides, and then I had to crawl in the dirt like a peasant to do the bottom, which was not a whole lot of fun, but you know, not all DIY projects are a lot of fun. I was just lucky there are no ants around, because sometimes fire ants are little pricks around this place. Finish it up. Again, you saw me kind of roll it over. You're going to see me roll over every edge right there. Now you're starting with the cutting. What I like to do is you can start anywhere, but I like to free up a little bit of space there by cutting a few inches on one side. And now I'm going to the side that I'm actually trying to attempt. You need the blade to be on the outside of the spline, and you kind of want to angle it away from the spline so that you're not cutting into the rubber. I have seen some cutter tools come with the screen kits, and they're like hooks, like razor hooks, but I've tried those and I hate them. I have a lot better time with these straight razors. Definitely smart to be careful, slow. I mean, you can go as quick or as slow as you want here, but the idea is be safe and get it clean at the end. And boom, look at that. Screen is done. I would love your feedback. If you hate, love, or have some suggestions on how I can improve, let me know because I want to improve.